On stage now at the Guthrie Theater, the Scottsboro Boys dramatizes the story of the real-life Scottsboro Boys, a group of 9 black youth falsely accused and convicted of rape on a train passing through Scottsboro, Alabama in 1931. Set as a minstrel show by the legendary musical theater duo John Kander and Fred Ebb, the show continues their exploration of the moral quandaries of humanity, an example of one of the greatest miscarriages of American justice.
Gonna get a trial, then we're going home. They ain't gonna give us no trial. They're gonna hang us, just like they hanged my cousin.
The Scottsboro Boys offers to audiences that which the real Scottsboro Boys never had in life: the truth.
This time, come tell the truth. Of course, Haywood. Have you ever told the truth before, Mr. Tambo?
Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
No, I've never done this before. Sing along or tell us a joke. If you want to, that's alright. Hey, 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 join in the merriment. Everyone's a minstrel tonight.
We sat down with Coleman Domingo and Forrest McClendon, who played Tambo and Bones, minstrel endmen who, within a play, portray numerous white characters.
Hey, 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 join in the merriment. Everyone's a minstrel tonight.
I saw the show. Wow. Very moving, very powerful, yet still very funny, very entertaining. How does the show do that?
I would say that that's really the job for us. The reason why the show employs the minstrel form specifically is because it allows us to use humor in order to share a pretty horrific story. So it largely does fall to us as endmen who narrate the action, move the action forward, if you will. Largely falls to us to keep it funny while we lay it out.
Mr. Tambo's is just not used to seeing you in those clothes.
And I used to see her in hers.
And in the opening number, one of the lines is, "We're all minstrels tonight." By the end of the show, it seems the story of the Scottsboro Boys has hijacked the minstrel form, and there's very little of that form left. And at the end of the show, are we still all minstrels tonight, or have we gone on? How does that form and the content of the show work together?
I believe that we do. I believe that, it's conscious that we do hijack the form. And it happens very early on when Haywood breaks in the form and he asks, "Are we going to tell the truth tonight?" And "Oh yeah, like we always do," says the interlocutor. And Forrest and I are working. Okay, that wasn't supposed to happen. I think the interlocutor is the only one who doesn't know that the show's about to be hijacked. That we're going to truly tell the truth tonight. You know what I mean? And we're going to take on these forms, and we're going to turn it on its head tonight.
The interlocutor keeps saying, "When's the cakewalk? Let's
Right.
get to the cakewalk."
Right.
Historically, sometimes the cakewalk, when it was performed, would be done somewhat ironically by the performers, the slave performers, where the white plantation owners and their friends and family didn't realize that the slaves were participating somewhat wink, ironically, and sort of mocking the form. It seems like that.
I feel like that's what we're doing. It's very subversive.
Absolutely.
Yes,
It's very subversive,
yes.
and that's exactly what we're doing, I think, from the top of the show. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the interesting things really about it as a form, because it is so often considered to be a racially charged form because
Yeah.
it's associated with the antebellum South. But the fact of the matter is, I think it was always relatively subversive. There was
Yes.
always a
Absolutely.
wink in the eyes of those slaves.
Wink,
that-
wink. I'm playing at this.
Right.
And I'm not truly playing this character. I'm playing at this character.
In the play within a play, all of your characters are white characters.
Yes.
So you get a chance to really play up that I'm playing at you, I'm not playing.
I do. Mean man. White men are special. Even those who know.
For us, it's like 21st century political theater, to literally flip it completely on its head and allow us as black actors to subsequently play all of those white characters. I think that was one of the conscious decisions made by our book writer.
Yeah. And I think that as well, to add to that, I know that we were very conscious about, even if we were skewering a character, a character. We really wanted to make sure that even with a lot of the text work, there's a lot of words, a lot of things that are actually said in the piece that were said in these trials, and they seem very absurd. They seem very much heightened,
Yes.
but they're actually reality. So I think that's also a big old mind, FUCK as well. You know,
You especially have a song.
Financial advice.
Yes, financial advice. Where, I believe that the basis for that song came from the transcript, where
Yes.
the attorney
And that's the way
sniffs around.
that's the way they won the case. You know, he won the case by sniffing around and saying the only kind of money they have in New York is very similar to the gentleman that's representing the boys, Mr. Samuel Leibowitz. So
whom you play.
Yes.
In creating these characters who are caricatures, one your body language for the sheriff, like the strut, and just where did some of those things come from? In playing Mr. Leibowitz, what did you draw on?
those things drew, and I think we wanted to make sure it was very conscious. I mean, we all did a lot of research, of course, basically on these characters and finding the reality of who these people were. But then to theatricalize them, we wanted to take them to another level, and I also wanted to make it very personal. Like, what in my mind, in my my present day mind, recalls the sound of what the sheriff would sound like. What would it sound like to these boys? That menacing voice, body language. I want him to take up a lot of space. I think we're both very physical actors, so I wanted we work off of whether it's viewpoints work, with commedia work, but I wanted him to take up a lot of space when he entered the room. And when I entered the room, the first actor you see playing a white actor, it had to be a little of size, and so I wanted to make sure that he took up a lot of space, and his voice was pitched in a place that dominated the room and dominated the boys, and actually had an oppressive tone to it. So basically, all those things are very conscious with us in our work, and then to make the psychology of the guards and just how their sick psychology. They're yes.
I love what you're saying about
the sociopaths,
the physicality and the psychology of it, because I think sometimes actors work from the inside out, and sometimes we work outside in. I think we were both going inside outside in.
Yes, exactly.
On these
Yes, absolutely.
That in terms of caricature, one of the things that I think Susan Stroman was good about was that we were playing big characters that had big actions, that they're not just big people. What they're doing is very, very big as well. And I think that for both of us, the idea, in particular for Leibowitz, the idea that you're dealing with a real person, I really had to begin the way that I would begin for Chekhov or for Ibsen, and then literally find those absurdist elements that wanted to be blown up. So I watched the footage really of every time he seemed to arrive on the scene, he's running up the stairs and he would turn around and he'd always strike a pose real quick to grab a photo, basically. And so that's one of the things that I thought about a lot as I tried to capture the showmanship aspect of.
Although he worked pro bono, he knew that the amount of attention that was garnered on this could, catapult his fame and fortune.
Absolutely.
In fact, it seems like everyone associated with the case, aside from the 9 themselves, had an opportunity to bolster their fame and fortune or bolster their cause's publicity, the Communist Party. But I wanted to come back to